Good evening, LTL Nation. This is Fadi, Gwanny, and Life Talks Live. This is our 7-minute breakthrough revolution. So bear with me the next 7 minutes as we talk about courage, a very broad subject, something we could talk about for ages and days, and books have been written. However, what we will talk about today is practical courage, courage in areas in our life that really do matter. A courage in a place in our lives that we don't recognize we need courage in, however, has a major impact on how we see things and how we do things. One of the biggest problems that we face in our lives is that we have a problem with having problems. We think we should live a life full of peace, and that's how things should be. However, ladies and gentlemen, when we think about it, the more we fear problems in our lives, the more we lack the courage to deal with things as they come, the more we get into problems and start living a life or a quality of life that is much less than we had in mind for ourselves. So let's observe this concept. We have a problem with having problems. We are fearful of facing anything that will inconvenience us in the future. So we're not talking only about the big problems, specifically not just the big problems. If we're fearing something like you're going to run bankrupt, or you're just going to lack cash at a certain time, or if this relationship is not going to go somewhere, these are big issues. You need to spend some time to really study and study correctly. But I'm talking about even the small things, the fear of inconvenience. I don't have the courage to step into a place and deal with myself in a state of inconvenience. So this fear, lack of courage to deal with a simple, small, tiny little situation will force me to create bigger ones. So in the lack of something, I pay attention to it. In the fear of creating something, I focus more on it. And in the process of focusing more on it, what happens? I create more of it. Where energy flows, everything grows. So on a very basic level, let's take a very simple life experience that I've experienced almost myself. So here I am standing on my bicycle, quite a long time ago. It's the first time to ride a two-wheel bicycle. And in my ears whispers the voice, careful of this pole. And all of a sudden, the pole is my center of attention. And the pole is the one thing I don't want to have happen to me. So it all happens in microseconds. It all happens in this very short period of time. I'm focusing on the one thing I don't want to have happen in my life because I can't deal with the concept. What if it happens? I don't want to inconvenience myself with banging into a pole and falling down. All this happens in fractions of moments. It's all due to a disturbing mind pattern that I have to really focus on what I don't want because I can't deal with myself having it or going through with it. So I have a problem with having problems. So what happens when I'm on the bicycle? My full focus is on the pole. That's almost all I can see. I can no longer see the sidewalk I'm riding on. So automatically my entire nervous system, my hands are moving in a direction I don't want them to. My entire body's leaning to, I'm approaching the pole, and I'm telling myself, and the battle is rising, stay away from the pole, stay away from the pole. But the pole is the only thing I'm actually seeing. And two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to crash down before I hit the pole, or what happened with me and I ran straight into the pole. So you have a broad sidewalk, empty space, one pole, one bicycle, and I crash right into it. See, this is what happens when we're not okay with facing problems. When we feel that we fear something too far, that we don't want to deal with it, we don't want to face it. So when we talk about courage, first thing we need to do is be okay, non-resisting problems or situations rising in our future. Because problems and situations are all about growth. If I face a problem, I've attracted it. And I didn't attract it just to bother myself. I attracted it because I'm fearing it. Hence, I need to learn that lesson. So by any means, anything happened to my life, number one, I attracted it. It's the fear that attracted it. The fear of having it, because I can't deal with the thought of it. So when it actually happens, I'm given the opportunity to deal with it and to grow from it. However, there is no point in attracting things into your life that you no longer fear. So when you have a pattern of things repeating, know that you just can't deal with it yet. You're still resisting it. That's why it keeps happening to you and you alone. What if we develop that courage in that area? Very practical and very elusive. It's very hard to get your hands on it because you're going to have to keep really observing yourself day in, day out. What if I have that courage that no matter what happens, I'm okay? Whatever happens, and this is very true to ourselves. Whenever we face a problem, we deal with it, don't we? We deal with it, we cross over with it. But what if we just have the problem imagined or delusioned in our own head? It's like a big freaking monster that we can't imagine dealing with. That the second we face it, we deal with it. We cross over from it. It's perfectly fine. Take that understanding and implement it into your life. Take that understanding and empower it with courage. Whatever comes in my way, whatever problem I face in my future, I'm okay with it. There's nothing I can do now about an unknown journey. So I'm okay with that. That is fine. Develop the courage in that area. Stop being fearful about things that might not happen. It's important to understand danger and work around it from a positive state, from a calm state. I'd rather avoid that street. Not out of fear, because it seems like the wise thing to do. No emotions are erupting. Nothing is clouding my clarity. So in this process, ladies and gentlemen, use courage on a simple basis, on a practical basis. What we can simply do is observe when are we arising with negative emotions towards something. Because what you fear is what you reap. If you fear something, it's going to come straight at you. So why not just look at it from a calm perspective? Be okay if it happens. Allow it to pass. Deal with the situation in the future, even if something like this happens. Chances are it might not. Ladies and gentlemen, that is courage, wrapped up in 6 minutes. Here's a 7th minute. I'd like to talk to you about the 8th of April. Please follow up our fan page. We as coaches are gathering together. We're filling a day, a workshop full of love and life. We're going to have one-on-ones in the corner. We're going to have people meditating. We're going to have people talking their problems. We're going to have people connecting with you. 7 coaches from 7 places around the world here for you to make things happen and make things happen well. So I'll see you guys very, very soon. And please follow up the Arabic version of this video, and I'll catch you guys next week. Have a beautiful evening.